It's Tuesday, November 7th, 2017. I'm Steve Houston with Compass Communications, and I'm here again with Joe Terril of Terril Company to talk a little bit about the markets and investing. And Joe, interest rates continue to be on people's minds, not only because of what the markets are doing, but we've got a new Fed chairman who's been nominated by the president, Jerome Powell. He still needs to be confirmed. But where do you see interest rates going? And if you could give any advice to the new Fed chairman, what would it be?
Interest rates are going higher. The question will be how fast. We are beginning to see world growth and economies pick up, and we're also beginning to see inflation pick up. We're seeing higher prices for energy, higher prices for copper, higher prices for labor. This will make the Fed, and assuming Powell is appointed, it's going to make them raise interest rates a little bit more than what they're expecting. So we'll see them raise interest rates in December, next month, and then next year we'll see them raise 3 times. We might even get a ½ point increase at one of those meetings. My advice to him would be just that. Don't let inflation get out of control. Raise interest rates enough to stay equal with the level of inflation. Right now, the Federal Reserve is holding short-term interest rates between 1 and 1.25%. We're seeing inflation growing at 2.25% and increasing. You can create an arbitrage opportunity within that you don't want to have happen, then inflation begins to feed on itself.
So given all that, where do you see the markets going in, say, the next 6 months?
I'm not real bullish on the stock market, mainly because it's built in this idea of perfection, that nothing could possibly go wrong. I've just mentioned 2 things that can definitely go wrong for the stock market. One of them is higher inflation. The other one, of course, is higher interest rates. The markets have benefited greatly in the last 5 years from very low interest rates and the fact that investors around the world had nowhere else to put money rather than into the stock market. As interest rates go back up, that will change. As inflation goes up, corporate profits will have a difficult time growing as expenses go up with inflation. Cost of money going up is also an expense for businesses. So every so often the market will rotate and put a certain sector on sale because they don't like it. But other than that, it's hard to find good investments in stocks right now. Switching to the fixed income and bond market, that is a horrible place to invest right now because as the interest rates go up, bond prices are going down, and they're going down dramatically. We're structuring portfolios with very short maturities or floating rate structures, so as interest rates go up, we're able to take advantage of it.
Well, tell me a little bit more about that. How are you positioning your portfolios in such a climate?
It's very difficult to do, Steve, because as prices go higher, we're tending to sell issues. We're tending to sell things that we bought 4 and 5 years ago with the idea that one day they could be worth X price. Well, X price is here, and we're a seller. It's difficult to do with the markets at all-time record highs. The tendency of people is to want to hold what they have, thinking it's going to go even higher. But a disciplined approach, you've got to sell. And so we're more of a seller than we are a buyer. We're structuring fixed income, as I mentioned, very short maturities or floating rate, and we're being very cautious about the equity portfolio, and as we get opportunities, we're selling and taking profits. Very defensively positioned in the overall portfolio.
Interesting as always, Joe. That's about all the time we have right now. We've been visiting with Joe Terril of Terril Company, independent investment advisors with more than $750 million in discretionary assets under management. Joe, let's do this in another month or so and see what's going on.
I'll look forward to it, Steve. I think by the end of the year, things are going to look differently.
Okay. I'm Steve Houston with Compass Communications. Thank you for joining us, and have a good day.